This is Radio Taiwan International. Welcome to the news on Radio Taiwan International. I'm Michelle Chang coming to you from Taipei, Taiwan. We begin with a look at today's top stories for Friday, November 14th. Anti-communist, anti-Xi slogans and protests are spreading across China. Taiwan's high vaccine coverage should shield against the recent flu wave in Japan. And Taiwan and Saint Kitts and Nevis deepen ties with sister city agreements. But first, today's top story. Anti-communist and anti-Xi Jinping slogans and protests have appeared across China with increasing frequency, including Henan, Beijing, Yunnan, Sichuan, Chongqing, and other cities, in what analysts call a sign of growing discontent with the current Chinese system.
Anti-communist and anti-Xi Jinping slogans have appeared across China with increasing frequency, gaining public attention. On November 3rd, a popular account on X posted a video of banners hung from a bridge in Liaocang, Shandong province, saying, "The CCP isn't China, the CCP is an evil cult." Netizens' reactions ranged from shocked to jaded, agreeing that demonstrations were on the rise. Similar events have occurred in multiple cities in recent months. Per the same X account, banners also appeared in Suiping County in Henan province, calling for the eradication of the CCP, Xi to step down, and restoration of internet and speech freedoms. Another sign outside of a police station read, "Xi step down, stop organ harvesting, end dictatorial tyranny." Last month, a rare protest took place on the streets of Beijing, involving a man using a megaphone to address the crowd in a busy area. Beside him were two banners calling the CCP an anti-humanity cult and calling for reform, including the formation of different political parties and the option to establish a new China based on freedom, humanity, and the rule of law. The protester was quickly removed by security personnel without explanation from authorities. In another case, a man in Kunming, Yunnan, held up a white banner reading "Xi Jinping step down" in front of the anti-Japanese War Victory Memorial Hall in August. His whereabouts remain unclear, although a 5-second video of the incident circulated online. In April, 27-year-old Mei Shilin hung a banner on a pedestrian overpass in Chengdu, Sichuan, claiming, "China doesn't need anyone to point the way, democracy is the way." Reports indicate that he was immediately detained. In addition to these demonstrations, there was the protest by Qi Hong in September, where the words "overthrow the CCP" were projected onto a building in Chongqing University town for 50 minutes. Observers note these sporadic events are a continuation of the 2022 Sitong Bridge protest, when Peng Lifa unfurled banners in Beijing declaring, "We want votes, not leaders," on the eve of the 20th National Congress of the CCP. Peng was immediately arrested and is now reportedly serving a 9-year sentence, following a 2-year holding period for, quote, "picking fights, provoking trouble, and arson," end quote, although such claims have not been officially confirmed. Still, Peng's actions became one of the most symbolic protests in years, galvanizing citizens to express their own discontent through slogans, projections, and banners. Regardless of where in China or what method is employed, every protest is a risk to those daring to challenge authoritarianism. Despite the swift suppression of many protesters, analysts suggest that, while sporadic, the frequent incidents indicate a growing discontent among Chinese citizens towards the current system. Amanda Stevens for RTI News.
Japan's flu outbreak is worsening, but a Taiwanese infectious disease expert says most Taiwanese already have protection thanks to Taiwan's high flu vaccination coverage and advises travelers to carry a single-dose antiviral and follow basic hygiene precautions. Japan's flu season is raising concerns for Taiwanese travelers as major destinations, Tokyo, Kanagawa, Fukuoka, and Okinawa, report sharp increases in cases. Tokyo issued a flu warning on November 13th, 6 weeks earlier than last year, and the first November alert in 16 years. Cathay General Hospital infectious disease consultant Tseng Hua Huang said Friday that Taiwan's annual public vaccination rollout achieves high coverage, possibly higher than Japan's, giving most groups strong protection. The dominant strain in Japan, A/H3N2, is the same one circulating in Taiwan, and as this season's vaccines cover both A and B strains, he said Japan's outbreak is unlikely to have a major impact domestically. Huang added that flu shots require 2 to 3 weeks to generate antibodies, meaning those vaccinated early are already protected. Huang encouraged travelers to obtain a single-dose oral antiviral before departure and to take it promptly if symptoms emerge abroad. He also reminded the public that such medications require a doctor's prescription and cannot be purchased over the counter.
现在有流感的预防药物了，事实上用起来是相当的方便。
Right now, there are preventive flu medicines, and in fact, using them is quite convenient. If, for example, you are traveling to Japan and then suddenly develop a headache, muscle soreness, and also a fever, then at that moment, if you have a baloxavir oral flu medicine, then one pill is 20 milligrams. And if your body weight is between 40 and 80 kilograms, you can take 2 pills, and taking it once is enough.
Huang said. President Lai Ching-te announced that the capital of Saint Kitts and Nevis, Basseterre, will establish sister city ties with Taipei and Tainan and expressed hope for broader international cooperation between the two countries. Meeting Prime Minister Terence Drew on Friday, Lai said the sister city agreements mark a significant expansion of bilateral ties from the national level to city-to-city collaboration. He welcomed Drew on his third visit since taking office and congratulated him on being named among the world's most influential people of African descent. Lai also wished Saint Kitts and Nevis success as it prepares to assume the rotating chair of the Caribbean community next year. Lai noted that cooperation has deepened in agriculture, public health, education, and women's empowerment, adding that both leaders' medical backgrounds have helped advance joint health projects. Drew said Taiwan and Saint Kitts and Nevis share more than 40 years of friendship, with Taiwan contributing to infrastructure, technology, and education. Taiwan's scholarships, he added, have trained many of the country's doctors, engineers, and IT professionals. He expressed hope for expanded cooperation in technology, culture, youth development, and municipal governance. Drew praised Taiwan's medical achievements and reaffirmed his country's firm support for Taiwan's meaningful participation in international organizations.
我知道德鲁总理这次来访，特别代表首都巴士底市，跟台北市和台南市缔结姐妹市盟约。
By especially representing Basseterre in establishing sister city ties with Taipei and Tainan, this symbolizes that the development of relations between our two countries is deepening from the national level down to the city level, allowing bilateral cooperation to become closer and more connected to people's everyday lives. We also look forward to more diverse international cooperation between our countries, so we can contribute even more to the world together,
Lai said. President Lai Ching-te posted on Facebook on Thursday evening, November 13th, that Taiwan will continue to move forward hand in hand with the world. This statement was in response to the Group of Seven, or G7, foreign ministers' joint statement following their meeting on Wednesday, local time, firmly supporting peace and stability across the Taiwan Strait and calling for Taiwan's meaningful participation in international organizations. The president thanked allied partners for their long-term advocacy for Taiwan in world forums, demonstrating their attention to and support for regional peace. He said that the international community's focus on Taiwan repeatedly proves that Taiwan is a trustworthy and responsible partner. Lai noted Vice President Xia Bikim and former President Tsai Ing-wen recently traveled to Europe to share Taiwan's democratic story. He underscored that Taiwan cherishes peace and has the will and capability to make more meaningful contributions to the world community. Facing global changes, he said that Taiwan will pass the baton from one generation to the next, with confident, pragmatic, and resolute steps to deepen connections with international partners and ensure Taiwan continues to be a stable and reliable force. The Finance Ministry has announced that the nationwide universal cash handout of 10,000 NT dollars or $321 will be available by ATM withdrawal from November 17th, 2025 to April 30th, 2026 to provide the public with more convenient collection channels. According to ministry statistics, over 7.7 million people have already registered for direct deposit through the internet portal since its implementation. Over 28,000 ATMs from designated financial institutions across Taiwan will offer cash handout services. The Finance Ministry details that users only need their debit card, ID number or residence permit number, and national health insurance card number. They can then follow the on-screen instructions to complete the withdrawal. Instructions will also be available for parents or guardians of minors as well. There are no transaction fees, and if an ATM displays out of service or fails to dispense cash, users can immediately contact the financial institution's customer service for assistance. The ministry emphasized that there are multiple ways to receive their cash handouts, and there is ample time available. Aside from direct deposits and ATM services, post office counters will also offer access starting November 24th. However, authorities have emphasized that the government will not proactively contact the public by phone or text message regarding the handouts and remind that any calls, messages, or emails should be reported by calling the 165 anti-fraud or the 1988 customer service hotlines. Thanks for joining me for the news. I'm Michelle Chang. Stay tuned for another 50 minutes of English language features brought to you by Radio Taiwan International.